Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and we have two sets of avatar boards now available for purchase on top of the New Year's ones that they dropped just the other week. So we have the Meow and Flowbermeow avatar boards, as well as the Sukeroku and Agemaki avatar boards. So we're going to do a quick analysis of what I think about each one and whether or not I think it's worth buying into. So the first set is going to be Meow and Flowbermeow avatar boards returning. They're going to be 5,000 jewels apiece, which is already just not a good deal in my opinion. I think you could definitely skip it just because of the sheer cost of the avatar board. But we're going to just go even further and explain why I don't think it's worth buying into. Wow, is this a dream? Meow and Flowbermeow avatar boards have dropped in to pay us a visit. Get them Meow for 5,000 jewels apiece before they disappear again into the distance. So clearly the details are just laced with just callbacks to Dream Drop Distance, which is where these two appeared as spirits. So let's look at the actual avatar boards, which are super cool looking. I definitely think it's a very specific aesthetic for some people, especially the ones that like the full body costumes like Moogles or like Chocobos or the Record Keeper ones. So for the avatar board, you are going to get a skill perk +6 as a balloon piece, which goes on the back. And then the rewards include poison +2, paralysis +2, sleep +2, second chance 3, attack boost 5, and AP plus and Lux plus, and attack boost 5 max gauge 2, as well as some gems, magic mirrors, and 2 Fantasia Mickey B's. So regardless of how it pans out, in my opinion, this avatar board is just so outdated that there's literally zero reason to get it unless you really like the pieces. So, for example, skill perk +6, that's been replaced now by skill perk +8, which is on the new avatar board, as well as skill perk +9, both as bag pieces, and the skill perk +9 is available on the current New Year's Charithi balloon piece avatar boards. So immediately, that's already out of the way. Poison plus, paralysis plus, and sleep plus have all been replaced by max skills. So now there's like a poison 2 max, paralysis 2 max, and then sleep 2 max. And at that point, it's just like, what's the point of even gambling it when you have a skill that has 100% activation? Second Chance 3 has fallen off in comparison to Second Chance 4. However, with enough skill perks, Second Chance 3 and Second Chance 4 more or less have 100% proc rate. So Second Chance 3 is okay. But in comparison to Second Chance 4, it's just fallen off again. And then Attack Boost 5 is just so outdated that you can actually get Attack Boost 5 for free as a max skill on metal pulls nowadays. It comes as Attack Boost 5 max SP gauge 1, and you can even get Attack Boost 6 max as a skill attached to the metal that you get from just the regular banner pulls nowadays. So Attack Boost 5 max, that's just gone right now. The gems are okay because for some people it might be hard to procure some gems, but I think the gems, the magic mirrors, the Mickey B's, they don't make up for the fact that this avatar board costs 5,000 jewels, which is crazy because you can buy 2 new avatar boards with that same amount of jewels. So let's go into the new ones, the Sukeroku and Agemaki avatar boards. So you can get them each for 2,500 jewels, which is, again, half the cost of the Flowbermeow or the Meow ones. We have about 14 days to decide whether or not you want to pick these up. And for the pun, I actually had to look this one up. So now is your time to act. With the Sukeroku and Agemaki avatar boards, you can dress up in traditional Japanese theater wear for 2,500 jewels apiece. So I had to look this one up, and I'm going to pull up my notes just to make sure I get it right. So it's based off of one of the 18 great plays in Japan, Sukeroku, or The Flower of Edo in English. And it's a really cool play. I definitely, if you have no intentions to be able to watch it in real life or watch a movie about it, I would definitely check out the description. I had to just read it up on Wikipedia to see what happened, and it's a really interesting story. I don't want to spoil any of the plots for you, so I'll let you go ahead and check that out on your own. So these are some very cool looking avatar boards. If I remember correctly, they were the New Year's avatar boards last year in Japan, and I believe they were also released with like a Shiba spirit part, which I hope we get. I don't think I've seen it quite yet, but I hope that we get it. So let's take a look at the actual avatar board contents. So for the Sukeroku, you're going to get a headband, a belt, a parasol, as well as the clothes itself. And then the Agemaki one comes with a parasol, the Agemaki dress up, and then the Agemaki style hairdo. And there's also the Sukeroku hairdo. But the back pieces, which are going to be the parasols, are each going to come with skill perk +8, which is currently second place, because we have skill perk +9 on the Charithi avatar boards. The New Year's 2019 Kingdom Hearts 2 Restoration, Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee avatar boards. Those come with skill perk plus 9, which is already the best skill perk for the back piece. This is a close second place, being skill perk plus 8. You're going to get a title for Dragon in the Sukeroku, and then the title Sleeping in Agemaki. So here are the following skills, and pretty much it's a pretty mediocre set of skills in my opinion. Yes, they are more or less all max skills, but hear me out on why I think these aren't exactly the best skills you could have gotten in this avatar board. So the first skill we're going to get is Attack Boost 8 Max and Gauge 1. Now, this is currently the best attack boost, being Attack Boost 8, and it's the lowest SP1, which is going to be SP Gauge 1. I believe Attack Boost 8 Max SP Gauge 2 was last month's Coliseum reward, and the only way to get Attack Boost 8 Max and Gauge 1 is by pulling into the 2019 Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee avatar boards that we talked about last week. So that's the only way to get this. So these are really, really great for most of the Supernova medals, because medals like Supernova Sephiroth or Supernova Keyart 19 or even the Supernova HD Birth by Sleep trio all have a very, very high gauge cost. This is definitely a skill that's tailored for those who got the Birth by Sleep HD EX Plus versions, because those cost, I believe, 4 plus a mandatory 2. So if you have extra attack on any of those Birth by Sleep trio medals, this is going to make the cost essentially 6 to use that medal, because it's going to lower it down to 1, and then it's going to add the mandatory 2, so that's 3 gauges for 1 activation with this skill on it. And then if you have extra attack, you're going to have to do it all over again, and that's going to make it a total gauge cost of 6, while giving you the highest attack boost max that's available right now. So this was definitely like a tactical thing to put in there so that people would buy into this avatar board. But one thing to note about Attack Boost 8 Max Gauge 1 is that as a Gauge 1 skill, if you attach it to something that has a 0 gauge cost, then it should, again, I haven't tested it myself, it should strip away one of your gauges. So if you put it on something like an HD Nominee, which has a gauge cost of 0, and you use the skill on it, and you use a special attack, even though it costs 0 to activate, I think it still strips a gauge from you. And I'm able to test that now. Maybe I'll release a video tomorrow talking about it. But I have a Kingdom Hearts 2 Nominee that I pulled that has Attack Boost 5 Max SP Gauge 1. So I'll release a test video on that tomorrow, just to make sure there's like somewhere out there that has like evidence of it. But yeah, just know that it will strip a gauge if the medal only costs 0 gauges. But again, it's more tailored for those Supernova medals that have extra attack. Let's see, for Attack Boost 7 Max Lux Plus, this has definitely fallen off the wayside, because for Lux Hunters nowadays and very heavy raiders, there's Lux Plus Plus, which I believe is 4 times the amount of Lux you'd normally get, whereas Lux Plus, I believe, is only 2.5 times the normal Lux you'd get. So with Lux Plus Plus, this is kind of an outdated skill, especially for raiders, and then with Attack Boost 8 Max out right now, Attack Boost 7 Max has fallen off to the wayside again. So there's pretty much 2 reasons why you shouldn't buy into this skill. The main reason you'd buy into this skill is that by normal standards, Attack Boost 7 Max and Attack Boost 8 Max are the acceptable like ranges to have as an attack boost skill. So at the very minimum, you want Attack Boost 7, if not Attack Boost 8, on a lot of your attacking medals, as well as your copy medals that have like ground minus 60, aerial minus 60 traits, extra attack, whatnot. So this is the minimum acceptability, which is why I'd say you should get it if you need it, especially since nowadays they're releasing more medals than there are skills available. And when you kind of just weigh out how many jewels you need for both the avatar boards as well as the actual banner pulls themselves, it kind of gets tricky managing all of that. So again, only buy this if you really need the max skill, the Attack Boost 7 Max, because that's the minimum standard of acceptability for like PvP, for damaging stuff. So that's where my mindset is right now. I'm not really sure if that's like a lot of what the community thinks, but I think that with Attack Boost 6 Max available in the actual jewel pools, this is at the very least the minimum for being in that high tier. Lastly, there's Second Chance 4, which is still the best second chance skill we have. Pairing it with enough skill perk, it actually makes it pretty much 100% activation. And if you're new and don't have Second Chance, I would definitely recommend getting at least 1 Second Chance 4. That way you have that second turn. So let's say you're fighting an enemy, you get knocked out. Usually the pet slot is going to give you HP recovery 1, and then you get knocked out again, and second chance covers you for another extra turn. This is really good for content such as Coliseum, like high tier Coliseum, where you have to fight enemies to pretty much like you're at that point where you have to keep pushing for damage. You need just to squeeze those extra rounds out so that way you can get higher in the rankings. It's good for high score challenges because it gives you more turns to deal out more damage and then get to the end of the high score challenge itself, giving you the maximum number of points. And then it's also good for expert level events where the objective is to complete without having to continue. So for example, the past event, one of the boss fight events where you had to fight all the bosses and you had to complete it without continuing, a lot of people needed second chance in order to make it all the way through that entire event. So just keep that in mind, that second chance is an absolute staple for people that want to clear those very high tier events, and I would definitely recommend getting this if you don't have second chance 4 already. It's been released so many times that I'd like to hope that most players have it, but I believe for players that joined around the time when they dropped the 10,000 jewels for the 3.1 update, as well as the 5,000 jewels for I forgot what the reason was for the 5,000 jewels. We got 5,000 jewels recently, but for people that joined after that time, I believe this is one of the few options you've had to get second chance 4. So I would definitely snag this up if you need that second chance 4, because it's going to help you clear actual game content and not just things like PvP. There's also some additional bonuses on these. We're going to get a speed gem, a Sid 10, some magic mirrors, and some magic brooms. Not enough magic brooms to make a Mickey and broom, and enough magic mirrors that they pretty much give you 5 magic mirrors per pull nowadays, so it doesn't even matter. Or maybe it's 3. I gotta fact check myself, but I'm so late into this video, I actually don't want to redo the whole thing. So I think all these additional stuff, all these additional bonuses are not worth buying into this avatar board. There's a lot of different ways to get speed gems nowadays. There's a lot of different ways to get Sid 10s, magic mirrors. Again, you get them from every single pull, and there's not even enough brooms in here to make an actual Fantasia Mickey B, which is more or less irrelevant now because the medals that you get from pulls automatically come as 7 stars, max gilted, and they already have a skill on them. So to say that magic brooms and magic mirrors are particularly useful nowadays is sort of not as true as it was back in the day, because everything that you get nowadays, especially things like the supernova medals, come max gilted, 7 stars, so there's no need for Mickey and brooms, there's no need for magic mirrors. So it's really for the older players or the people that pull into additional premiums that just need to gilt them, because those, when you pull into those from the banners, they come 0 orbed, no skills, no nothing. So there's really not much of a use for them nowadays in today's meta, but again, if you're starting, it's a really good resource to have. So my recommendation is actually to only buy this avatar board if you really absolutely need to, especially for that second chance 4, that attack boost 8 max SP gauge 1, if you need the skill perk because you don't have any back skill perks, and the jewel cost on this is lower than the 2019 Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee avatar boards. So I think it's worth it if you're newish. I think it's worth it if you really need those skills. Otherwise, I wouldn't get it, just because there's a lot of things that we want to pull for in the future, especially with Kingdom Hearts 3 being only 20 days away at this point. So with all that stuff coming up, I feel like they're going to release something cool. They might release like a special Kingdom Hearts 3 avatar board or a special Kingdom Hearts 3 jewel pull. So there's a lot of things that are coming up. And then Xemnas Plus is right around the corner. It's only 4 days away from here. So again, that is more jewels that you'll be getting. So if you don't have enough jewels to do like a 10 mercy pull, a 5 mercy pull, there are more jewels coming along the way before we hit the actual Kingdom Hearts 3 release. So with that being said, you have 14 days to decide. I believe it's actually now only 13 days to decide if you want to pick up these avatar boards. That's sort of my analysis on it, and then I'll upload my notes to the drive so that you can also look at them as well. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them down in the comments below and I would be happy to answer them. But as always, everyone, until the next video, take it easy.